Welcome back to the NBA Nightcap. I'm joined by my guys, David, Lucas. I'm Nick. I'm going to be taking you through the beginning of the NBA playoffs. We got the first round starting. Some interesting storylines. We're going to tackle as many as we can without yelling about Lakers, Suns, and Knicks, Hawks for more than 3 hours. We're going to try to get this podcast right about, I'd say, 6 hours minimum,
Perfect.
about a perfect amount of time. Take about like our month of Buzzsprout or whatever we use anymore. But first, of course, it's the NBA Nightcap. It's time for a drink. I'm finishing up a Goose Island IPA
Oh,
right now.
like those.
They're really good and they're a little strong.
Yeah.
With a follow-up glass of tequila.
Double fisting.
Double fist.
It's like a sip left, and yeah. What about you guys? I know Lucas has been drinking today. It's his weekend. Been hanging out.
A long weekend. I got 4 days off.
Okay, you took a wellness day.
I did say it's mental health
Awareness month.
wellness awareness months,
Yeah.
and we get
Day off.
extra days off. So
I worked
it's a
on my
4-day
new
weekend.
I worked on my new job for 10 days and I got a free day off.
Cheers. I have myself a very large pour
Cheers.
of the finest box wine of all of France.
France. And you're not going with the
yes.
Italian box. Okay.
Yeah. In America, it's called Boda. In France, it's Buddha. You know, it's got a
Buddha.
little accent.
Buddha.
On it. Best wine.
Okay. I mean, you've never been cultured, but it's fine.
I'm as cultured as you could physically be. Right.
Okay. Dave, what about yourself?
I have the Arnold Palmer spiked, but I just made it myself with Arnie and vodka.
Ooh,
nice.
all right.
Nice.
I like it. Let's get into it. Let's do this. It's been a while. I got a new job. We had to take a couple days off, It's, it's life. This is why we podcast. We enjoy it. I'm just going to hop into probably the series that we care least about. Sixers Wizards.
Okay.
I only care because I lost money on game 1. I think it was Sixers -8, and I think they only won by 6. It's just dominant.
Blown out in.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb because Ben Simmons decides to not know how to shoot free throws.
Pathetic.
Yeah, it was horrible. I think the only thing I want to touch in is Embiid finally had a good game with his last game, like 38 on 4 missed shots or something like that.
I mean, he's not being guarded by anyone, so he should be going.
Whoa!
Right? Like,
don't insult the center rotation of Alex Len, Robin Lopez, and Gafford. I don't know his first name. Gafford.
Is it Daniel?
Yeah, it's
Daniel.
Yeah, he just looks like a Daniel Gafford,
If you have old Robin Lopez playing more than 10 minutes a game, not a good sign.
No, it's not. Yeah, I think this whole series is just the basketball gods really did a disservice to everyone in the series. Like, they had all the chances. I think once a player retires and they're in the top 10, they should probably be put in like Mount Olympus of the basketball gods. It's like that whole top 10 really screwed us by deciding not having the Wizards play the Nets round 1. That was the biggest disservice they could have done, right? Like, no matter what happened, like, say even the Nets fell to the Wizards fell to the same downfall as they are now. Like, at least it would have been Durant and Harden doing it to Westbrook. Right now, there's like no narrative. It's just two superstars that like they couldn't do anything because they didn't have the rest of the team. So they're just stat padding for the year, which is fine. They carried that team to the 8th seed. They won the second play-in game, and now they're just getting railed because Embiid's bigger and taller than everyone else. It's like,
I mean, it's their own fault. They could have beaten the Celtics. I mean, they lost to a 50-point Tatum game. He gets one of those every 5 games apparently now. 3, 4. It's dumb. Yeah, he's a little bit better than Jaylen Brown. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he is. He's definitely better. One of them's in the playoffs. I mean, it's East, but Dave, any topics you want to talk about in the Sixers Wizard series? I just think it's a
Yeah, literally the biggest story, it doesn't even have to do with anything with basketball. It's with Westbrook getting the popcorn dumped on him.
Yeah, that
yeah.
was pretty disappointing.
I mean, we can well, let's talk quick about that and move on. It's just, I think it has to do with fans literally have not been in an arena in like what 18 months.
Everybody's going crazy.
They just don't know how to act as human beings anymore. I mean, it's look, you're a dickhead if you do something like that. You just are.
Yeah.
You can yell, say something, be like, ah, you suck. Whatever. Be mean, but don't be like racist or poor or something, or like the guy who spit on at Trae Young. Don't be an asshole. Just it's basketball. It's a sport. We're enjoying it. We get mad. We support our teams, but don't be an asshole. That's all I have to say about Popcorn Guy. He's now banned from NBA. He spent thousands of dollars, and he's never going to be able to watch a Sixers game in his life again in person.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a national list, like an NBA total list. So you get banned from a stadium. I bet there is some sort of like they don't probably talk about it enough. You don't think it goes like stadium to stadium?
No,
like,
I
if
don't.
You're banned from the Sixers for something like this. I bet this guy couldn't just.
I don't think that's like the no-fly list.
But I don't understand how I guess it works in practice either. Like it's not like they have some sort of Chinese cameras on the streets identifying people's faces, right? So like, why couldn't this dude's wife just buy tickets to the Nets or the Sixers and then just show up? Like he wears goofy.
I mean, he probably
sunglasses.
could.
He can just go to the next game, right?
He probably
actually
could.
makes this guy banned.
I mean, that's actually a very good point. I didn't think about that. I just think.
Yeah, go ahead. I think it's the season tickets and stuff like that is what's
you just can't get season tickets.
Yeah,
like, that seems more of like a minute. But I mean, I guess I don't know what else they do like that. Unless they install some sort of face tracking technology into stadiums. I don't know how you're gonna stop this.
Unless you go like legal repercussions on him as assault or things like that. But I mean,
trespassing, maybe that's something like they threaten with trespassing.
Yeah, like if you're come on. But you know, NBA basketball. Let's get back to it. These guys suck. Fuck you guys for doing that shit. You ruin NBA for everyone.
Yeah.
Next 1-8 seed, it's Jazz versus Memphis, and Ja went absolutely nuclear. They went up what 1-1.
Having a great series,
and that's 2-1. He scored like 73 points in his first two games. These games are honestly on too late for me to like fully pay attention. It's like I'm half snooze, half in, half out. Also, just the series in general. The biggest like takeaway was game 1 when Mitchell was ready to play, not ready to play, and pissed. I guess we can talk about that real quick. I guess to me, just feels like I think the team thought they could win without Mitchell.
I think just blaming the medical staff was a cop out. Like I know after the game, Bogdanovich and Gobert said they're slights or whatever, but I don't know. I think that's honestly I think it's just like a foreign player thing. Like I think you hear foreign players speak up more than
you American pussies need to play.
Like but I think at the time they were like, all right, well, whatever. We don't have Mitchell. We can do this. And then after they lost, they felt a little like this sucks. Like we could have had Mitchell the whole time. They still probably should have won that game. I think the biggest thing is Ja is dropping like 34 and 6 this series, which is really freaking nuts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're probably gonna lose 4-1. I don't really think they're like in a scenario where they've got their pieces, but they're like a season or like 2 seasons away from those young pieces luring the veteran talent to fill out the bench and like their holes, like they're in the spot kind of like where the Suns were last year, but like this team needs a small forward and they need a full bench, right? They have DeAnthony Melton, who's good, but they don't really Grayson Allen, who they like, but like okay, so they need a backup 5, 4, and 3, and they also need a starting 3. So they need 4 veteran dudes, but I still don't even think being the 8th seed, they couldn't pull like how the Grizzlies could have pulled like Rudy Gay. Like, can they lure a guy like to that level, like an 18 to 19 point per game veteran to fill that
Are you
3 guard
saying
spot?
with a trade or just like in free agency?
No, like free agency, like
Yeah.
going to free agency this offseason, being like, all right, we have 30 million, 35 million in cap space. We need to fill 4 positions, one being a starter. Can we get a near 18 to 20 point per game scorer at the 3 slot? I don't think that young core could do it, you know?
Well, the funny thing is I feel like the player who would be perfect on that team is actually playing against him in Bogdanovich.
I think they need someone bigger. I think they need more, like, as bad as it sounds, like a more household name. Like, they need a dude that can absolutely get you a bucket. I don't think Bogdanovich can absolutely get you a bucket. I think they need, like,
I got one.
this sounds really dumb, but they would need, not Kawhi, they need someone like, if Jimmy Butler didn't have his personality, they would be like, we need Jimmy Butler at the 3 right now, and I'd be like, that is a really great like 7th, 6th seed.
Are you looking for a free agent who can get you a bucket at the end of the games?
Yeah,
DeMar DeRozan.
Not a bad idea.
Right?
Like that's
20,
a good idea. I think
25 points a game.
That honestly might fit the bill too. Like, I think he has
spacing would be
like,
horrible.
Shaw's the dude. Deion Brooks is a decent 2 guard. He's kind of showing up, and especially in those playing games. What did I say, Deion?
He did.
You know, you're on the DeAndre and DeAnthony. You're just struggling with that still
DeAnthony
mentally.
Might be the least.
DeAnthony Melton, and then you have DeAndre Hunter.
Melton. Yeah, it's terrible. Those D names just always
they trick you. Yeah, no, anyway, I mean, this is a perfect DeMar team.
Would be great.
The spacing would be horrible. I mean, if Jaren Jackson could play more than 8 minutes, they would be probably a solid team. I mean, that's the biggest question, is what do you do with Jaren Jackson? Is he going to be like the next step, or is he going to be like a hobbled Porzingis in the future?
He's really not. He's all of my worst fear, all of my extreme shit talking, like on the spectrum of
shit talking
Jackson. He's just like fulfilling all that right now, right? Like, he's injury prone, he's foul prone. Sure, he's like a crazy oversized 2 guard that just fucking fouls all the time. Like, that's all he does. And it's like, that doesn't work when you need to be the 4 and get rebounds. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you can just get Valanciunas to be like, hey, I need you to get 15 boards a night, because Jaren Jackson's gonna be 30 feet away from the hoop every single time. Like, I don't know how that works.
So I feel like we're being very negative on the Grizzlies. I just want to put some
positive.
I'm putting some positivity out there. What is it? Ja's second year. Guess who's in the playoffs and Zion's not? Ja's in the playoffs. Would that team, is the Grizzlies that much better than the Pelicans roster?
Yes.
That much better, or like
that much?
I would say so.
With Ingram, Lonzo, they had JJ Redick at one point, Steven Adams, like.
I mean, Ingram's the second best player, or the third best player on, like, if you were to take both of those teams, he's by far number 3. I feel like the go from like number 3 to number 4 is a huge drop. Because what would be number 4 be? Probably Dylan Brooks.
Probably Valanciunas, yeah. Or Lonzo.
So, okay, so say you swap them in a series.
No, 5.
How is this Pelicans team going to guard anyone in the playoffs? Because calls don't happen as much. Like, they're more egregious when calls happen. Pelicans foul a lot. They also don't defend the rim.
I'm just saying.
I don't know how, like,
skill wise, it's just.
I think every team would drop like 130 on them.
So I think what I'm trying to get at is the biggest thing is taking Zion's a bigger guy. When you draft these bigger guys, you're gonna see better performance with like a guard. I mean, we're gonna get to like Trae Young, the Lukas, but Ja is just having success. And if you talk to an average fan, and you said name the starting 5 of the Grizzlies, I bet they could get one player. One player.
I think they just get Ja.
They would just get Ja, and then like by 5 they'd go like Marc Gasol.
Right. I can see that.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's a good first playoffs. Ja showing he's the freaking man. He's gonna score a bunch of buckets. Hopefully he gets his outside shooting. I mean, shout out to Valanciunas, Grayson Allen, all these guys. The organization's smart. I was gonna get into slow-mo. I freaking love slow-mo. You guys know I love slow-mo. My man is slow paced. He just does his thing, moves through. I said he was the player I wanted on my team when we did that list. I wanted slow-mo.
He's gonna be the perfect player. Like, I actually don't know how old he is. If I had to guess, I'd say 26.
I think he's 27.
I think like his next contract, the tail end of it, he's going to be on a championship team, and it's going to be like, oh my god, they're in the playoffs, and there's this really obnoxious, super slow Kyle Anderson just destroying people.
He's going to be backing people up.
He's going to average like 16 and 11 off like playing 30 minutes. It's not going to make any sense because he's going to be the most awkward player in the playoffs, but he's going to kill it on a playoff team. He's like, I don't know, he's too late for his time, but also he's going to be perfect when the time comes, you know? Like, he would have thrived in the old Spurs system, but he's going to be even better while this evolution of the game goes on.
He's too late for modern basketball, but he's perfect for playoff basketball.
Yes.
It's like
regular season Kyle Anderson, I hate.
I mean, I still love him. I still love him. Perfect. All right. Any other thoughts on Jazz, Grizzlies? Okay.
Pay them respects.
I love it. All right, we're going Brooklyn, Boston. Game's on right now. It's ending in now. 141, 126. I lost $5 because Brooklyn didn't sweep, which let's talk about that real quick. Brooklyn lost the game because they're outside big three. So outside Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, and Kyrie sucked. Didn't score with 33 minutes left in a basketball game. No one. And I'm going to even put it out there. It's probably just Harden and Durant scored for 33 minutes. They scored like 80 points.
Yeah.
They outscored. Yeah. Then you look at the Celtics team and it was like, they didn't play that well.
No. Marcus Smart played pretty good. Well, I mean, of course, Tatum, but like,
Marcus,
was it though, really?
Marcus Smart had his game once every five games.
Yeah. It's like 10.
Probably more like 10. That's honestly very fair. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I was so mad. It was only $5, but I was so mad. And then like tonight, Durant drops 42. Kyrie drops 39. Harden drops to 23 and 18. The 18 being assists.
I mean, the difference is that Bruce Brown and Joe Harris both scored 14 points. So that's 28 points. They wouldn't have won if it wasn't like, if they didn't do that. If they would have scored 4 points each, like they did when they lost.
I bring some negativity here to both teams because I'm ready to rip on them. Like, this game has a total of 267 points. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The big three had to play, let's take a look,
40 apiece.
40, 41, and 40 minutes against just Jason Tatum, right?
Who dropped a 40 bomb.
Who dropped a 40 bomb, but they didn't have Kemba and they don't have Jaylen Brown. These kind of games make me feel like if you just had Kemba and Jaylen Brown, this would have been I don't know how
series.
the Nets win this, right?
7 games.
Like every single stat line too by the big three on the Nets is ridiculous. Like 39-11, 42 points, 23 and 18. Those are all-time great numbers, except they just played one dude. And then Marcus Smart's supposed to be the stopper, right? And it's like, okay, you assign Marcus Smart to one of these dudes. to stop him.
Can't.
But you can't because Smart's also the second option, and he's not a good second option. He should always be. His role is like fifth. I'm thinking fifth option, honestly. Like
he should be.
Have a dude off the bench. It should be Kemba, Tatum, Brown, someone off the bench, then Smart gets your buckets. Like
it should be pass. Smart.
Kemba, like Smart's in the corner. He's just sitting there on offense.
Nice little lefty.
He plays a off-ball slasher. PJ Tucker. He should be doing something other than being a shot creator. So the fact that the Nets only won by 15 blows my mind. I don't know. I think this is like the playoffs have actually made me feel less confident about the Nets. Like,
yes.
Why would the Bucks not just smoke this team? Like, I understand, like, it's, small sample size so far in the playoffs, but like the Bucks all year have been a great defensive team. The Nets have been, at best, when they've been gassed up, is a middling defensive team, which shouldn't be a great thing for a team with a big three. Shouldn't be just an average defensive team. They should have their role players be able to play defense while the big three just crushes.
Argue something?
I don't have much confidence in the Nets. Like, I don't care if they win this.
Can I argue one thing? They were up 13 since the half.
They were up 13 and a half, so they only gained 2 points.
Yeah, they gained 2
Boston.
points.
But they just stagnated. They just stagnated.
That's
at
not
one
a confidence boost.
But they're up 20. They were so they're up 16. They're up 20. They're up 24. Like, I mean, I agree.
Okay, but
I do agree.
But they had to play their starting. They're like, okay, so say they were up $1 billion, as it sounds. They were up almost 20 the whole game. Why did they play the big three the whole time? They would only have to play like 30 minutes.
Because
as soon as they come out, they are just.
I'm gonna counter argue that. It was the argument Dave made before the playoffs started. They haven't played together. Why not go? We're playing together. We need to get you guys in the ultimate flow. You need to know how each other reacts to each other and just get through a rhythm. Get the games going.
You have Durant, who's coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah, but it's playoff time.
Okay. Yeah, but like
it's a season later.
41 minutes though.
It's a season later.
What about the Derrick Rose argument?
Derrick Rose, it's an albatross.
Would you not want it? Like, I mean, this whole season has been preparation for the biggest moments.
Durant also played how many games?
Already won the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, they probably technically did. They technically did.
So they weighed. So I guess the argument here is what I'm making is they weighed injury potential over like building camaraderie on the court.
I think you go with what's our next round matchup. Bucks.
I don't think you can prep this series though for the Bucks.
You have to, but it has to be like
you can't because you have 5 guys that can guard every single person on the court against the Bucks.
It's not about it's literally about fluid motion. Like, I know where you're going to be on this pass. I know where you're going to be on this pass or this movement. Like, just getting that in game time. Like, I think that's the biggest point of, hey, like, yeah, should they have played 40 minutes? Durant only played 35 games. They played 6 games together. Though. They didn't though. They were injured. So this is makeup.
I know, but that's the thing though and why I have never had any trust in them is they don't have chemistry and they're a team full of people who get injured constantly.
But this is the counter argument is now they're playing a game to build up chemistry and it's like, oh, why did they play so much? Like, well, they don't play together. They played 6 games, 7 games, 8. This is their 8th, 9th game.
I know what you're saying, but the chances of injury happening in 35, 40, 42 minutes is a lot higher and stuff like that.
I'm gonna honestly argue, since if they're all injury prone, it's all the same. It's all the same. Do you honestly think the last 10 minutes of the game Durant's really guarding anyone? I doubt it. I bet it was just like,
I think that's a real worry because Durant's gonna have to guard Giannis next series. For like short, I actually don't know how much, but like if the big three is out there in the past, let's think of the context of each 3 players in the past, they all had an alternative to pass off defensive roles to or liabilities to, right? So, but next series against the Bucks, how does this play out? Like, who's okay? So who's guarding Chris Middleton?
I'm
I don't know.
Who's
I'm
guarding
gonna
Drew?
I'm gonna
Who's
say
guarding
something.
who?
I'm gonna say something.
Okay.
As you guys know, I was very confident in the Nets. I was like, they're gonna figure it out.
I was not.
I'm still very confident that they're probably gonna win a 7-game series.
Sure.
The Bucks looked really good, but I think they looked really good because the Heat were really bad. I think we're very prominent on the Bucks because of how bad the Heat looked. I think it was an overrated fact that the Heat coasted through their last half the season.
I just think the matchup wise is what I don't care. Like, sure, probably like subconsciously and stuff, the Bucks swept the Heat and everything. But I mean, just looking at the matchups though, like the Bucks have the better matchup in every single thing. Like every realm of it, they have a better matchup.
I would argue the fact that Middleton is not going to lock down Harden. So would you throw? Are you throwing Drew on Harden or Kyrie?
No, you throw Drew on Kyrie, and then it's pretty much because it's just like
I disagree.
the Spurs thing with the Heat, where it was like, we'll let Dwayne Wade beat us. We're going to stop LeBron, and we're going to stop Chris Bosh. If Dwayne Wade beats us, oh well. And Dwayne Wade didn't beat them. I think that's the same exact thing. I think Giannis is going to guard Durant, and I think Drew is going to guard Kyrie. And it's like, all right, Harden, let's see what you can do. I mean, and it's not like it's not like it's going up against like super scrub against either for Harden. Like the Bucks have good defenders other than Drew and Giannis.
I mean, Middleton's decent. They just lost Dante. Now you have what? I'm trying to think who else they have to really guard.
It's gonna have to get interesting. I think they're gonna have to play PJ. They're gonna have to start. They may have to start PJ.
So Giannis is not guarding Durant. First of all, Giannis is playing free safety. He doesn't one-on-one defend. He plays safety. PJ is going to be on Durant for half the series. It'll be PJ Tucker, Lopez creeping. You see the cat trying to sneak in here. What's up? What's up, my guys? It's going to be a good series. I think that if you look at the regular season series, like it was close without Harden. I think Drew's got to be on Harden. I think that's.
I don't hate it.
I think that's it. Like,
I don't think you can be scared though. Like, I think you can play. This is the luxury of the Bucks. You can play every single one of their big three and the rest of their starters just straight up, almost right. Like, I don't know how much actual strategy needs to go in on these sort of matchups. Like, if half court happens, inbound happens, Drew's on the left side of the court, Harden gets the ball, starts dribbling, he's on the left side of the court. I don't think there's going to be a switch. Like, if Kyrie is on the right side, Drew isn't running across the court to guard Kyrie, right? Like, he's going to be like, all right, I got Harden this possession, and then Middleton's on Kyrie. I almost think that's the best part about it is they're going to strategize and being like, okay, if the big three drop 90, no one else is dropping anything because we're such a good defensive team. Where if Bruce Brown is being guarded by PJ Tucker, like, we're not stressed. We got Bobby Portis out there, like, we're not stressed. We've got guys that can play defense. I don't know how stressed they are on that end. I'd be more worried that they almost get stage fright playing offense. Like, Forbes is the hottest player on that team.
You took my thunder.
Well, it's not even close. So my thought is, do the rest of them get stage fright? Because I almost think that's how you lose series at this stage of the game. Like, I think one-on-one matchups with almost everyone, like, they can make as many switches as they want to get Chris Middleton to post up Kyrie. And I would take, in a regular season game, I'd take that matchup 9 times out of 10. But what happens in the Eastern Conference Finals, or actually it's going to be the semis, and Middleton's posting up Kyrie, and then he gets stage fright and bricks 3 of these in a row. Like, is he spooked for the rest of the series? Like, I feel like you're seeing that right now. Is you're getting a lot of these stage fright guys. Like, I don't want to bring up the Suns, but like Crowder shooting 2 for 20 from 3 while being a 40-point 3-point shooter, like, that's some stage fright. Like, he got a little spooked to start the series. So like, I think Middleton, like if the Bucks offense gets spooked, if like Crowder, like Julius Randle, like some other guys that are getting spooked, I don't know if they can win. That's the only thing is like can they elevate themselves to not feel the pressure? Is really the only reason I think the Bucks would lose this.
We're gonna have to find out in less than a week. 2 days
I
is.
cannot wait for that series.
I think it's my next. It's probably the most hyped series because of 2 days.
Is there a break? Just a technical break? Is it like
No? It's once the series,
so
once the
they just go
matchups are
off.
ready. Once the
So
matchups
let's
are
say
ready,
if
they give
the
a couple
Bucks
days.
4-0 to everyone, and
They
everyone
get
else is in a
breaks.
normal series, would they get like a 2-week break?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of nuts.
That's why you 4-0 teams.
I feel like they should wait.
Or
Or is that weird?
No, I think it's. I mean,
Does
you
that make
throw
sense
it
for them to keep playing, or why would you not wait for all the teams to be like set to do round 2?
because you'd play the most hyped matchups.
Yeah.
You just
There's
keep rolling with the content. Like,
yeah,
while
because
it's hot,
because
keep
you have
going?
to hit the
So it's
June
more of a content
June
thing
date.
than a.
No, I think it's the date wise. You have to hit the certain date because it gets to the point where it's.
Well, let's say the Mavs Clippers series goes to 7.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't you just wait till the last series is done to start the next series? Because
No.
then in the end, you're always gonna start the next round with the previous series being over.
The argument would be that say every other series went 4-0, so you'd wait for just the Mavs series to end to start round 2.
And also, then it's only one game on.
That's why.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it more of a
think that's what it
content
is.
thing than a pure basketball?
Strategy. They'd give the Nets like 2 or 3 days, but it's your own benefit to win it in 4.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, so like because the odds of like
faster is always better, but
yeah. No, whatever.
I was just curious.
It's but yeah, no, I mean it's not often the 2 like 3-6 goes in a sweep. I think that's a big thing. It's like normally it's like 5 games, 6 games, and it just works out.
Heard.
All right, let's get into it.
I'm just gonna mute my mic. I don't even need to say anything.
All right.
Which one are we doing?
You know
what we're doing.
I thought we were gonna bounce the other series before we got this.
No, we'll do this as the meat. We'll do it, I guess.
Meat and potatoes.
I think we skipped over it for a minute. So Phoenix Suns tied it against the Los Angeles Lakers today, 2-2. After a tragic injury to Anthony Davis, he was assaulted, maced, hit with a club. Car drove onto the floor, just knocked him down. He has a quad injury.
I have so much to say.
It's hold on.
The only thing I'm gonna say before you go is, oh my god, Anthony Davis got hurt. I am so surprised.
Groin strain. Okay, before we get into this, we're gonna touch on a few things. I'll do the outline of whatever. Game 1, Suns came out, kicked the absolute shit out of the Lakers. The Lakers looked like toddlers out there. Anthony Davis didn't know what he was doing. Just showed no effort. LeBron looks like he was 74. Couldn't shoot the ball. The Suns were playing well. Freak injury to Chris Paul, which was whatever. Little bit of a brawl, game 1.
Whatever.
I don't know what happened. Shoulder or something. Now he's fine. Game 2. Yeah, I'm getting through. Game 2, Lakers came out and they said, "Nah, we're not losing back to back." Kicked ass, went through, scored some points. AD looked like he knew how to play basketball. Looks like a top 5 player. Chris Paul was hurt, so that's a huge asterisk on the game. I'll give you that he's not healthy. Game 3, same thing. Went to LA, a little ass kicking, you know what I'm saying? And then game 4, this Lakers just bent over and AD got hurt and 4-point game at half, and then all of a sudden it ballooned. I don't know. The Lakers offense went absolutely cold. Seemed like they could not hit anything. Booker got a bunch of really soft fouls, and just you gotta admit there was 2 fouls that Booker got that was pulled up like.
We got some Laker fouls.
Yeah, thank you.
That was good.
Thank you.
Some AD fouls.
AD gets mauled. Okay, thank you.
And he sure looks like he does.
So, Lucas, obviously a Suns fan. I'm obviously a Lakers fan. We're trying to keep this civil here.
So what do? We just start.
We just skip. Go to the next series.
That's inside of me.
We just skip to the next series. It was fun.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, no. You know what? I'll let you go first. Go for it.
I don't even know where to begin with my thoughts.
Go with your heart.
Especially with it being tied up. I think
that's. I will say that's the best outcome for you guys. That was tonight was a huge game.
Is definitely the best outcome.
Well, no, I mean Chris Paul coming out, he looked like an actual basketball player again, which I think this series should have been 2-2. Just like based off like you guys should have won game 2. We snuck that game out. And then I think game 3 and 4 we would have won. Like if we lost game 2, we would have. So I think we would have won tonight.
My take. I think the end of the series. Obviously, we don't know how at most these next 3 games will go.
7.
I think we were robbed of an all-time series. I think that's how I'm going to preface this. Like, I think this would be an all-time round 1 series. So the number 2 seed versus a fake 7th seed. Yeah. They're not really a 7th. Like in the history of 7th seeds, having LeBron on the 7th seed is
LeBron and Anthony Davis on the 7th seed.
It's just it's ridiculous. There are so many other words I could say for the talent on this team being a 7th seed.
Yeah,
is just like semantics. I wish you had to fight the Nets. I mean, that would have been. I'm not Nets. The Jazz. That's what I really wanted you to fight.
Oh, me too. I said that on this podcast. I said we should have.
So why I think this was robbed by the basketball gods again was first the Chris Paul injury was just classic, right? Like
absolute, like
every single game all year except for one where he benched because we played the Cavs, I believe, and there was no reason for him to play. Yeah. And then he gets freaking hurt. The first even slight injury, there wasn't even a time actually there was one time in January where he fell on the ground and he stayed there for like 10 seconds. That was the only time I saw Chris Paul hurt, and I wanted to die inside because I thought that was it. I thought that was the whole season. Yeah. Because of how reoccurring it is. And it was just like,
oh, Lucas got a cat.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Here you go.
I fixed it. So anyway, once that happened, I was like, I thought it was over. Like, I honestly thought, like, we won the game. That's great. But, like, I don't know if we can pull out another game without Chris Paul because the whole year has just been we've been a good team without Paul. And then this AD injury happens, which actually sucks because it doesn't level the playing field the way I wanted it to.
You see that? Asterisk.
What is this?
It'd be an asterisk.
Yeah. I didn't want this to be the leveling field, right? Like going to the series with both teams available. I want to use the phrase available because everyone's banged up, but available is how I wanted the series to be, and they weren't. Like Chris Paul played the second half of game 1 without a right arm, played game 2 completely unplayable, basically. He played 19 minutes. Game 3, he tried his best. He was better than game 2, but then didn't play the entire 4th quarter, didn't play the end of the 3rd. And then he balled out this game, but still didn't look himself at all.
He looked a lot better than he has looked.
He definitely looked a lot better than the last
3 games.
9 quarters of basketball. But I still think, like, now AD going down, and I got the Woj tweet saying that his status is unclear, but he'll be a game time decision. I think he'll still play. Like, this guy plays every single time he says he's injured. I think he will.
I think we're going to punt it.
I think this adds, there's so many elements of this series I want to talk about. Like, okay, so AD's, like, legacy talk, too. Like, at what point does AD's legacy go from what if to being, like, this is what it was, right? So people always do, like, the what if with injuries, being like, What if AD wasn't injured this whole time? But like, so we've had so much of a sample size of AD only being able to play so many minutes, where that what if scenario shouldn't even be valid anymore. Like, this is just what he is. Like, he's a great player that consistently he just can't be healthy enough to play the game of basketball for this many games in a season or a playoff series.
He's gonna have to get the quiet treatment.
And then at what point do we start discrediting those guys? Like, I don't know how. Like, Kawhi can't be a top 20 guy of all time. He can't be top 25 or 30, right? Like, you got to be able to play the game of basketball, right?
And not just like for the last 3 weeks of the season. I text both of you the other night, and I said I think Anthony Davis will retire before he's like 33. I think this contract, maybe one more, and I think he's done. I don't think the guy, he doesn't care. He has to get ramped up. Game 1 was a fucking shit show. I was watching it with both.
Like a shit show.
Well, I was watching it with both of you, and I wasn't getting mad because this is the AD game. He does his pull-ups, which are fine. If he hits them, he hits them. If he doesn't, you'll live with them. Ayton's been in the paint shooting 80%. 82%. 82. He's missed
the relevation right now is insane because that was your big advantage. That was the Lakers' advantage, was they had 4 bigs.
But there's no
beat the shit out of Ayton.
There's no reason, because all we do is forget about him. It's like a third thought. The Lakers had one possession in game, I want to say 2, where they pass, shot clock violation. And I just go,
yeah,
fucking shoot the ball. What are you guys doing? It's a good series. I wish, like you said, I wish we were full force, because I still think it would be 2-2 full force. I think Lakers would have lost game 2 if Chris Paul was healthy, but I think we would have won 2 at home.
This is a 7-game series. Like, 9 times out of 10, this series is going to 7. There's no way around.
I joked about the sweep, but we did talk like 6-7 games. 6 would be if we steal 5. We're going full force on 6. But I think I think we're punting.
Super team. Yeah?
I think we're punching game 5. And this is why.
That would be ballsy.
Why? Because LeBron James in a game 7. LeBron, like the feeling, like Booker's never felt it. Chris Paul always quote unquote crumbles. And like LeBron AD game 7. Give AD. It's a ballsy move. It's a ballsy play.
This game showed that LeBron doesn't want to punt again. Like, even though he punted. So there was a minute 23 seconds left. Somewhere around there. It was a minute 20 left.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're going to say.
DeAndre Ayton to the ground after a missed Schroeder shot. And then
threw his arms up,
walked across the court, fouled, I think fouled someone, and then walked off the court. He literally quit with like 46 seconds left in the game. He left the court. And I was like, you're down
it was the Marc Gasol pass. The Marc Gasol pass. So Marc Gasol faked it, then threw it all within half a second. He went, and the guy's hand's still there. You guys got the ball, push it up. We blocked it, get the possession back. Schroeder missed shot, and it was 20 seconds, but it was over. I mean, it really was, because you guys have such good free throw shooters that we weren't winning that. I will say,
sit for 3 hours.
I will say Booker taking a deep 3 instead of running the offense was weird. He took a shot when you guys could have run the clock like 15 more seconds. And it just felt like it was like, oh, I'm going to hit this. They just got 2 on us, 2 threes on us. And you scored both times, so you got 2 twos. I was like, oh yeah, they're cutting it. But we were down 8, and I was like, play the game. Just slow down. You'd get a bucket here.
I think it's the weird evolution of Booker, because his career path has been so different than the vast majority of others. Like, I mean, so last year he had a ball handler. He had another guy that could create his own shot in Oubre, who was good last year. He's not very good this year. But then, like, think of the first 4 years of his career has just been straight Booker do everything.
Yeah.
And I almost think there's, unlike any other basketball player that had to develop through being an entire offense for 82 games, Booker still has times and moments where he has that mentality of being like, this is it. Like, I literally cannot do, like, no one else in the court can do anything. And I don't want to waste my time. And I literally don't blame him. Like, if I had to go up the court and there was no, no exhaustion, no sort of like energy drain out of Booker taking every shot, I would have Booker shoot the ball every possession if he physically could do it. But he
the
definitely
deep
doesn't
three was
lead to
bad.
the best shot every single time. And Booker's not doing very well from, no one on the Suns is doing well from three. So I don't think that's even remotely the best shot. And it's hard too because Booker has literally never been the best facilitator. Like, with Chris Paul being the second ball handler, it's his best role. It's the best time he's ever had, and he's more efficient. The team is better. It's perfect. He's not like the type of dude that's like he's not the type of guy that's going to average 6 assists a game. And I don't want him to be that guy because it's going to lead more turnovers. Like, I want him to just be a shooting guard and be an assassin every night. But now that Chris Paul, previously to this game, there were 9 quarters where it was Cameron Payne was the second best ball handler. So, like, what are you going to do? You going to tell Booker to not do that? Like, we were in desperation mode the last 2 games. I don't know. I don't think Booker. I couldn't take away anything from Booker, but he didn't play great game 3. Played well game 2. This game he played like it was a normal average.
It was okay. It wasn't great.
No, he got like 17, but the rest of the team showed up, and that was our regular season. Was Book didn't need to drop 34 every night for the Suns to win, and the rest of the team showed up. I could have killed Torrey Craig. I could kill Frank Kaminsky. Our bench is falling apart, but at least our starting like 5 is consistent now. Hopefully Crowder turns it around.
I will say, outside of the Lakers, if Chris Paul stays healthy for the whole season, I think you guys have the best shot in the West.
I hope so. I mean, I don't even want to project. I don't even want to think about going forward in the playoffs right now because I can't.
Well, I'm also watching.
I can't comprehend winning the series.
I'm watching Clippers Mavs right now, so I keep looking up, and Mavs are down 5, but it's too much Porzingis.
I mean, even so, the other LA team and Dallas are in the other bracket. The next team that either of us would have to play, Lakers or Suns, would be either Denver or Portland.
Let's get into
honestly,
that.
Like,
let's get into that series a little bit.
Let's get into that series.
Yeah.
I'm not
scared at all.
I'm not scared either. I think they've actually shown way too many. Like, with the Suns Lakers series, neither team has shot well from 3 because the defense is ridiculous, and it's almost like if there was actually like a robot or like an overseeing the officials watching every single possession, I think you could call a foul every single time down the court because these two teams are punching the crap out of each other and just mad at every possession. But then when I watch this Nuggets Blazers series, there's no defense being played.
No.
It's just like I think Jokic's like, I just need to freaking shoot better than the guy in front of me. But with
he had a bad game for.
I think Crowder would punch LeBron at one point. Like, I love having Crowder. The 2 guys I used to hate in Chris Paul and Crowder are my favorite fucking players.
Isn't it something?
It's sick. It's sick.
My guy's back.
He's back.
Oh, I didn't know you're still podcasting with us anymore. I just thought you left.
I just let you guys go off about Lakers Suns. I know my place.
I'm still not done.
Before we get into more series, you see what happened with Kyrie at the end of the game?
No.
What?
So he walks up to the middle of the Celtics logo right on the face and kicks and stomps on the Celtics head and then walks out of the tunnel and then Finn whipped a water ball at his head.
What?
Yep.
Well, that fan is now banned for life. Good job, bud.
I hate that's a TO. That's such a TO move.
Isn't it? The thing that annoys me with Kyrie
or Juju Smith
is he's like, oh, things are bigger than basketball. Oh, everything is. I can't talk about basketball right now. Oh, I can't do this. And then he does stupid shit like this and everything else. And he's going to spin it in his press conference about the fan throwing the water bottle and be like, well, things are bigger than basketball.
Things are bigger than basketball, Dave.
I hate Kyrie. Anyway, go back to the Blazers.
Blazers Nuggets. Yeah.
Blazers Nuggets.
I just watched it.
So 2-2 series. I think this series is going to go the distance because I think both teams are so freaking bad. Like, if the Nuggets don't have a good Jokic game, they're screwed.
And if the Blazers don't have a good Dame game, they're screwed.
No, I 100% disagree because last night they didn't have one, and they won by 20.
I think it's just whatever team is hot will win the game. Like, I know it's like stupid, but they're like the most like they're the two teams where it's like it matters how good they're shooting. They can't just pull offense out of their ass by being good defensively. So it's pretty much like, well, if you guys have it, well, all right, you won. If we have it, we won, kind of thing.
I'll agree with that because it is 100% who the hell can pull the throttle more. Last night was Blazers. Powell missed 4 shots. CJ missed 10, but I mean, like I said, Dame went 1 for 10.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. I thought Dame had a better game than that. Just watching it.
I mean, he hasn't had. He had the what? He had the 37, the 42, and the 34. He's had good games, but when he gets his teammates involved, he has he's had a good series. Like last night was a shit game, and they won. I think Portland's gonna come out of this just based off they have better play. They have the not three best. Like Yosh is the best player. Then they have the probably 3 next best players. Michael Porter's in the middle of like CJ. Like he's right, probably there.
Yeah, like,
depending on the day.
I would say CJ and Michael Porter are the same, but like the highs of Michael Porter is higher than you'll ever get with CJ. But you don't get that all.
I'll give you a stat. How many shots did Michael Porter take in the last game?
Now that you say it like that, I would say like 4.
I want to say 11.
3. He took 3 shots.
Yeah, he's
Shut the fuck up. No way.
3 points, 5 rebounds, 2 fouls.
This dude was so salty he didn't get enough touches last year in the bubble that he blamed the losses that he didn't touch the ball. To the media post game, they asked him, what happened in the second half? You got 15 points in the first half. What happened in the second half? And he goes, I didn't touch the ball. Now he's the second best player on this team.
Michael Porter in this series, 37%, 9 points, 57%, 25 points, 38%, 18 points, 45%, 15 points, and 33% 3 points.
He's just a weird player. So
and do we still think we could replace Jamal Murray with Buddy Hield and Halliburton? No, you fucking can't. Get out of here. They wouldn't win a fucking series.
Great it is if they had both those players instead of an injured Jamal Murray.
You know the best part about those players? They are on the team that is what? Hold on really quick.
Yeah, but that team doesn't have Jokic.
The 12th seed.
Or Michael Porter.
The 12th seed. Okay.
Or Aaron Gordon.
Well, let me know when those players help a team get to the playoffs.
Okay, to be real, I think thinking about the series, the Nuggets never adjusted. Like they have 3 players that have advantages, like game to game.
Yeah.
And they're playing to they're playing the Blazers game. Or
they have to slow down.
Game. They need to slow the game down. They need to play in the paint, and they're not. Like they're still playing with Campazzo shooting 4 threes a game, which is not acceptable. Like they need to play almost like early 2010s basketball of Jokic needs to get in the paint, Michael Porter needs to get in the paint, Aaron Gordon needs to get in the paint. Like they need to get in the paint, and they're not. Like they're settling for jumpers. Actually, when I watched that last game, Michael Porter like posts up a dude who's a foot shorter than him and can't move him.
Like he can't. He can't
move him, and he doesn't want to move him, and he has no ball handling. like almost Michael Porter has like fooled everyone at this point, where he's just a spot up shooter, but he's
Clay.
7 feet tall.
He's Clay.
Yeah.
He's a significantly worse Clay too.
He's not as good of a shooter, but like
he can't
or
defend.
defender.
Well,
He can't dribble.
Clay can defend.
I'd almost take Clay dribbling like
Jalen Brunson.
If you had to make Clay be the #1 option or Michael Porter, like I would take Clay every day of the week. This dude he can't do it.
Yeah. Good.
But that's the thing. This is exposing, I think, every single Magic, like Orlando fan who has complained and whined about Aaron Gordon, hoping he got shipped off. I think this is like really exemplifying what they were talking about. Like Aaron Gordon cannot be your third best player because he can't create his own shot.
He's not supposed to be their third best player. He's supposed to be their fourth or fifth.
Right, but now you need him to be, right? Like at some point you need people to step up, and even though it's not his role, like so at some point, like if he can't step up to do one role higher or like one step higher, then like I'm not asking him to be an all-star, but now like
you're asking him to get 15 a game.
Can you get 15 a game? Can you actually, like, Jokic's gonna get you like 3 extra chances? Can you at least scrap for balls and get 2 loose ball shots? I don't think he can.
No, he can't.
Because he doesn't. Yeah. Other people aren't drawing attention. Now people are like, all right, well, there's only 3 dudes out there that can get a bucket. You're looking at Aaron Gordon. You're looking at Michael Porter. You're looking at Jokic. But now, if the focal point of the offense is on Aaron Gordon once he touches the ball, like you're screwed because Aaron Gordon's not going to create you a shot against anyone.
Yeah.
So, I don't know at this point, like the elite, most efficient offense of all time that the Nuggets had for a month with these 5 dudes is gone because Murray and Barton are injured. So like I had the Nuggets winning the series because Jokic was the MVP, but now it's feeling like Jokic is, 08 Dirk at this point. Like he may just get swept in the first round. It's gonna be pretty bad. It like that's a legacy beating, right? Like that's what for Dirk, it took him until he won the finals to
6 years later
to make that MVP worth it. Like
I disagree.
Like what happens with the if Jokic loses, that MVP doesn't look great.
No, but he lost his second best player.
I totally agree. But
like
I'm not writing basketball books.
Dirk was a 1 seed and lost to an 8 seed. This is a 3-6 matchup. Like it's not the same.
But what if they lose in 6? Like doesn't that ding them a little bit? Of course, with us, like in this 3 context, like I wouldn't ding Jokic for this series because he doesn't have a team, right? He lost.
There is people already when Jokic was essentially the crown. They said it was the worst MVP in the last 50 years. When the guy's averaging 27, 10, and 9.
I think it breaks the mantra though of
it's because he's
historical MVPs. Like right now it sucks, but every time I watch a basketball game, Doris Burke, every announcer that's on is like, if there's a foul, if there's a weird 3-point shot, if the focus of the offense isn't in the paint, they're like, well, this is the modern NBA, and it's like, well, the 90s happened 20 years ago. If you're going to talk about 1991 basketball,
30 years ago,
20 years, yeah, you're way too far away for me to care about what you're talking about, and people hang on that, but those are the people that vote on this. These are the people that write.
Well, the voting needs to be updated every 2 years.
These people are the ones that write, the book of basketball, and they create the legacy of basketball. And for whatever reason, like they're gonna ding them on situations like this, which is unfair. But this is how it's kind of.
I mean, to be fair though, it's a 2-2 series with the Nuggets having 2 more home games.
So who do you think's gonna win?
I think either team could win. I honestly am not like, I think the Nuggets, like, I think you have 2 games of Jokic dropping 40, Michael Porter dropping 25, everyone shooting like 38%, and you win. And Dame going cold. I could see either. I could also see, but I could see Powell going 5 for 15 in the next game.
how bad does the series look to the Blazers, and especially like the front office and
They're
Terry
fucked.
Stotts?
They're fucked if they lose
Well,
this.
Terry Stotts is like, yeah,
He's
It's a
out.
2-2 series, and they're not winning against the Nuggets, who literally are playing someone that's been in America for the first time.
Why do you
And
hate Capazzo so much? I thought you loved
I
Capazzo.
I love Capazzo, but he's not like, you shouldn't start him in the playoffs.
He's
right?
he's like an Alex Caruso. He's like a fun little side piece, but he's
right.
not.
So
No, he's a
Dame,
lot more fun than
CJ,
Caruso.
Norman Powell,
But
so the Blazers are super small, where the Nuggets were super huge. So it was going to be like this great battle of like almost old basketball versus new basketball, but
The Nuggets refuse to play.
the Nuggets
Old
can't do it
basketball.
anymore, right?
Yeah.
They can't do it, and now they have to adjust to like sort of more new basketball play types. But the Blazers can't really stop. It's a 2-2 series, so clearly they can't stop the Nuggets even without Jamal Murray and Will Barton. I almost think even if the Blazers win the series, I have no faith that they would beat the Suns or Lakers. Like,
they're
I
not
think
going to. They're not. Neither of these
AD
teams are
came back-
moving on.
if AD came back and the Lakers won in 6-7, like, they're not the Blazers aren't winning that series.
We're
It's
talking.
over.
The Blazers won a game when Jokic dropped 16 and Powell dropped 29. It was a fluke. And you know what?
Didn't Powell miss like 3 shots that game?
4 shots. He's not doing that again. He's not doing that again. I'm
Exactly.
not. I think the Nuggets. I'm leaning more Nuggets because they have the MVP.
Hypothetically, let's say the Suns win this series. How the hell is Nurkic and Enes Kanter going to guard DeAndre Ayton if Marc Gasol, DeAndre Drummond, and Anthony Davis can't guard AD, DA? Fuck these names.
We don't. We're not
how
guarding.
Is this gonna happen?
We're not guarding DeAndre at all. We haven't.
You should.
We should. I'm not on the Lakers organization roster. I'm not
lineup in the league.
I know. Like, you think I'm not watching the games going like, oh my god, can we not let this guy be?
Start swinging. Start swinging at the guy.
I'll buy.
It's like 75% from the line. Just start punching his arm. He's too big.
I'll buy a flight to LA and I'll start coaching on the sidelines. All right. Let's get to the next series because I need another drink. So I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna walk away and I'll let Dave go away. Go on.
Oh no.
So we have the Atlanta Hawks decimating the New York Knicks.
Fuck you little bitch. You fucking say decimating and then walk away. Anyway, I know he did. You know what I'm gonna do, Lucas?
Yeah.
I think the Suns are going to whoop the Lakers' ass. I am just going to go and just keep pumping up the Suns until Nick gets back, so then I can yell at him.
I like it. How do you feel about the Suns?
Oh, I'm the biggest Suns fan. It is so hard not to text in the group chat about how much I want the Suns to beat the Lakers, because after like the first 2 games, I hate LeBron more than I've ever hated LeBron, which is something.
I honestly muted the group chat. Like, I do that every game. I can't, and then I text at halftime, and then I start back up again. That's it. Like, I can't do it because I'd be texting you guys the whole time because, like, I can't stand it. Like, I can't wait to not play a LeBron team. Like, I've never felt this clearly, like, in a 7-game series, but I can't be more happy to have Chris Paul to just yell. Like, he doesn't. I almost think he has almost the same voice on the court, right? As LeBron. Like, being the player's president, like, he can yell at the refs the same level that LeBron can. And then with having Crowder, it might be the second time ever that we've ever had a dude being like, I'll take a punch for Booker. Like, I'll punch a dude in the face to make sure Booker can get the next bucket, right?
Well, did you see Crowder when LeBron was like, refs, you guys need to look at the foul, and the face Crowder made, he was like,
did you see did you see like the plays just prior to that with Marc Gasol and Ayton? Like, it was in the first quarter. Marc Gasol did the same thing to Ayton. Ayton power dribbled, went up, and Marc Gasol grabbed both of his shoulders but like one shoulder had like most like it was kind of like a half headlock. The other arm was down. Whatever. It wasn't a flagrant. But Margie was like, he just headlocked the guy. And she was like freaking out. I was like, what is this? And then all of a sudden, like quarters later, you know, LeBron's freaking out because Crowder touched his shoulders. You know, it's just ridiculous.
So Nick, what I did was while you were gone, I turned this into the Phoenix Suns podcast.
Well, apparently
loved on the Suns while you were gone because you fucking walk out saying that the Hawks are decimating the Knicks. First of all, I hate Trae Young more than I've ever I think I hate him more.
Did you guys seriously spend like the last 3 minutes talking about the Suns?
Yes.
Suns Lakers,
yes,
we did.
Yeah, we did. We went back. Yeah, just so you could hear my anger because you fucking walk out with decimated. First of all,
what's the series right now?
It's 3-1. First of all,
thank you.
Decimated is sweep. And Julius Randle just has forgotten to play basketball. I truly do not understand what has happened to Julius Randle.
He went back to LA, Julius Randle.
It is so bad. He doesn't even look like he wants to be there. You should have heard Frazier going off about him because he's like, he doesn't even like do something. Even if you don't do it good, do something. Like drive at least. Put your back to the basket. Do something. And he's just not doing anything. RJ Barrett, the first couple of games didn't look the best, but this game he was very good, and in their win he was very good.
This wasn't supposed to be Barrett's series either.
No,
this
it's supposed to be Julius.
This is Julius's series with Rose being the number 2. Rose has shown up.
Obi Toppin is popping though. Tell you what,
number 1.
Yeah, the greatest trade of the entire NBA season was Derrick Rose for freaking trash. Like I think I could have traded this coaster for Derrick Rose, and I think the Pistons would have taken it.
And also, so let's see here.
All right. Can I take one? Can I take one part of Game 3? What the fuck was Thibs doing Game 3? You guys are down. I want to say 8-10. You start going on a little bit of a run, and he didn't put a single other starter in other than Derrick Rose. Like I was watching it, I'm like, why isn't he making this run? Why isn't he trying to push this? And then it's like
our bench is better than our starters.
Yeah, but it's
so if we go like through the bench stuff, so Taj has played better than Julius Randle. Quickly has played. It's close. I would say it's pretty close between him and Reggie Bullock, but it's not like huge. Alec Burks has played better than RJ. Derrick Rose is God's gift to mankind. So like, it's the bench is actually playing better. Like in Game 2 when we won, the run was started by the bench.
I guess I thought it was closer than it was. I guess I thought it was closer in Game 3 than I thought it was.
Yeah.
No, this is where it was. It was the 9-minute mark, and then from 9 to 5 minutes, he never put the starters back in. But I was like, why? Why are you not playing anyone?
I honestly think it's because the bench is playing better than the starters. Like, I don't the Julius part is horrendous.
Julius from 9 minutes to 4 minutes. Like Julius re-entered the game at 4 minutes left in the fourth, and he was playing more aggressive at the end of the third. But I agree, he looks like shit. He looks awful. He looks like old Julius. He went 2 for 15 this game.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. It's just a lot of sadness. It's been just staring at when I watch the game, I watch it on my computer, and this is how I watch every single game. I watch every game like this. It is not fun. I'm not having a fun time.
So I went into the series with the Hawks. I was like, the Hawks are gonna win for the exact reason of scoring more points. And then
money on the Knicks.
And then probably like 4 hours before the game, I go, "You're an idiot. Derrick Rose, Dibs, the whole mantra. They're gonna play good defense, or with like 1 or 2 number defense, like depending on the
They're
stats.
top 3 all year.
Yeah, top 3 all year. I'm like, this is easy. The Hawks are gonna go cold. The Knicks in 6. And then I just slapped myself in the face and I said, why wouldn't you just take the Hawks? Thank God I'm not gambling on this series.
I think the series can turn around though. Like,
it's not over. No, I don't think it's over.
Yes. I think there's at least a
You have
decent
home
possibility
court
to push it to 7, because at least I think they can win this next game, because if they go back to what they were good at the beginning of the year, like the only defensive anchor that they have on this team is Capella, right? So
You have to take
they
him
have to
out.
bank on, they have to beat the shit out of the Hawks. Like, they have to get mad. They have to think.
Julius has to get mad.
They have to play like the 2012 Seahawks. They have to do. We're gonna get in the paint. Every single freaking time we get in there, we're gonna be it's gonna be an offensive foul. We're gonna throw elbows. We're gonna get space. We have to get in the paint because they can't call everything. And I honestly think, like, the Knicks have enough big men to get in the paint to at least draw enough fouls on Capella to get buckets. Like, they're gonna either get buckets in the paint. They are missing. They're missing a lot. Like, I almost think I think Noel or Taj has to really piss off Capella to move him away and get Julius in the paint more. Like, there has to be a reason for Julius to get in the paint, because he's settling for way too many mid-range shots. Like, it's
not even mid-range. It's deep threes.
He sees a double team, and it's like, holy shit, what do I do? There are 2 people coming at me. I have no clue what I'm doing here. And if he can go and figure it out just a little bit, if he can not shoot 5 for 15, instead if he could shoot 7 for 15 even, with a couple more assists, like this series would be completely different. And because, I mean, like, you're getting insane numbers from Derrick Rose. Like, and Alec Burks too. Like, you're getting I feel like in the playoffs and stuff, it's not the stars who win, it's the random players who win. And they're getting that with Alec Burks. Reggie Bullock the other night had a great game. Like, so they're getting the pieces, it's just the stars aren't showing up at all.
I think the biggest thing for you guys, it should be a 2-2 series. Absolutely. You blew a game. Game 1 you fucking blew it. I couldn't believe it.
I hate Trae Young so much.
Well, I don't even blame Trae Young. It was the clock management. It was like, yeah, you were down 2. But instead of like pushing it to the brink, you gave Trae 9 seconds?
Yeah.
And that was like, why? Why are we doing this? Side note, Clippers are up 15 right now.
It's nuts, man. Can I throw in something about the Knicks, though, on a positive note?
Yeah, no. I had something to follow, if you know.
Oh, do you want to go first?
No, you go. You're looking great.
I think, this is a side note, I think that if the Knicks can pull out one more win, maybe even they're already at this point, but the success that they've had, even to this point, is set them up so well going forward. It's insane. Like, I think they've actually elevated themselves from their previous Knicks status, from Melo leaving, to a team that players in free agency want to go to. Like, I don't think they have, like, the top 20, top 30 players are, like, dying to go there, but, like, they're gonna have enough cap space this offseason to get someone, like,
we can get anyone we want. Like,
why couldn't they get, like, so there's not a lot of guys this offseason, but, like,
wait, before you go, there is one player who I pray to God, it's the only thing I want. I don't care about my health.
Why?
I don't care about my safety. I want one player this free agency, and he has a player option. You keep going.
Who is it?
It's Kawhi.
Is it Kawhi?
Oh, it's Kawhi.
I don't think Kawhi's leaving LA, because I think Nick, I told this to Nick earlier today. He called me, I think maybe it was the other day. I don't think that Kawhi will ever leave LA, because he's already left 2 championship teams because of going and money. He's left money and championship teams to just live in LA. I almost think this dude doesn't care about anything else but living in LA.
Kawhi will never leave LA. Paul George will leave LA.
Oh God, please, please, God, do not let me get Paul George.
Well, the Clippers, he's not going to leave LA until he's like 35. So
they're going to trade him. It would be Kawhi saying, "Get him the fuck out of here."
Yeah, that's very possible.
Before we go on to what were you gonna say though about the free agency and stuff though?
I was saying they're gonna have enough. They're gonna use their money. They're not gonna wait another year with not spending their money because they'll be able to trade it. I think they're gonna get Schroeder, number one, and I think they're going to try to get Tim Hardaway back. But obviously that doesn't make it a championship team, but it does make them better than what they are. They're gonna get Schroeder.
You're gonna pay Schroeder $28 million.
Yeah, they're gonna pay Schroeder like 20. Well, I think Schroeder
28.
I don't think Schroeder's gonna get paid 28. He's gonna get paid at most 25. He's gonna get a 25 for 4 years. Like
he already turned that down.
He's not gonna get another offer. It's gonna be 25.
Can I introduce you to Orlando?
There's not a lot of money out there. There's not a lot of teams with money.
I do love Schroeder, but I'm very afraid.
No, I wouldn't pay him $30 million.
It's like the old Knicks of where you go and you have a little bit of success. You go, there's a free agent out there. You throw a bunch of money, and then you're the 9th seed or you're the 7th seed. Like I could totally see that happening.
But I don't know what other options they have. Like the Knicks are right now in the Hawks spot last year.
No. The Knicks are in the perfect spot. Just float. Be a good org for. No. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You look at how hyped everyone is for Julius Randle in the playoffs. If you float, you're a 4 seed. Say next year you're a 5 seed. Like if the team develops, RJ develops, gets better, you're gonna get someone. Don't jump the gun. This is why the Knicks suck. That's why the Knicks blow it all the time. That's why big teams blow it. They blew it with Carmelo. They jumped the gun.
I'm saying this is the first time that they've had the lure. Like
then don't blow it.
They couldn't have jumped the gun last year. They couldn't have jumped the gun the year before or the year before that because they didn't have the lure. Now they do.
Now they have the lure. But think about everyone.
If they wait another year, they may not have it.
But why?
Paying Schroeder though.
He just got lucky with Chris Paul. Put him away. If the team looks great, they could have gotten the Durants, the Kyries. They would have went to New York. They would have went if they were a more well-developed. They went to Brooklyn because of what they built. They weren't a great team, but they were like an 8th seed, 9th seed.
They went to Brooklyn because they liked the coach, and then the coach got dipped for Steve Nash.
Well, yeah, it was bullshit. And they went there because the team looked better.
Secret Abu Dhabi money too. Don't forget that
part. Ali Bobby.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Come on now.
Yeah,
anyway.
He showed up one day.
What I want to do is, if they get to the second round, I don't care if I have to sell a limb. I am going Madison Square Garden because it is unbelievable. Like with the fans back and stuff, even in like other arenas and stuff, it's fun and everything. But like MSG is like,
well, they really take COVID protocols really. The sanctions there are so well that they're trying to spread their vaccinations onto each other.
Hey, it's vaccine seating.
Little spit action.
Trae Young, motherfucker, looks like a goddamn troll doll from the 1950s.
To be fair, the Trae Young thing has been amazing for basketball.
I love it. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you take it. Go ahead.
It is the absolute best thing for basketball because not only are the Knicks back, but this could potentially be like a rivalry between the Hawks and Knicks. And I don't know, like the Knicks still feel like a squishy team where they don't have like a guy, but the Hawks have a guy, right? Like I think the Knicks wanted Julius to be the guy, but Julius could honestly be like the third guy and then this offseason they get a guy, they make a big trade for a guy, or like the next season they get the guy. But I don't think Trae is ever going to not get the amount of boos.
Oh, never.
He's always going to get these boos, but every time Trae enters MSG, he's going to be the most hated player that has ever entered MSG. Other than I'm thinking like Reggie Miller. I'm thinking like if Trae keeps this up for this series, another game of Trae talking.
If he ices them,
if he ices them in New York, he's not Reggie Miller-esque, but he's like, if you had to think of categories of players that fans hate of a certain like Reggie is here. You'd probably have some other people that I don't actually know, but like Trae is in the category of complete hate.
I'd put him right below.
And I think that's perfect. Like I think that's what you need for not just like Knicks basketball, but for like all of basketball. I think it's perfect.
The reason why the hatred is so much is because it doesn't matter who, like, what your team is or anything. The fans hate the best player on the team, regardless of who it is. The reason why, it's the same thing with Reggie Miller when he did the choke symbol and stuff like that. The fact that Trae went and was put the up and told everyone, hey, it's real quiet in here, and then did the stupid ass see you in the A after game 2 loss. That is what has brought the hatred to a new level. Because if he was just like, oh yeah, like, you know, the fans are insane at MSG, blah blah blah, like it's crazy playoff atmosphere, it probably would have just been like normal boos for the best player, and that's it. Because like say if the Knicks do win in the next round, we'll play the 76ers. Every time Embiid touches the ball, he'll get boos, and it's just because he's the best player.
I'll disagree a little bit. I think MSG is the kind of crowd who, like, yeah, they will do that, but when a player goes off, they're like, yeah, we're fucking in this. This is amazing. Like, kind of touching on what Luka said, it's amazing to have this back. Like last playoffs, there was never like a villain. Like Jimmy Butler ripping through the East would have been amazing in a playoff setting. Like with
Would you imagine Jimmy like in Milwaukee ripping the souls out of every buck?
Jimmy in LA with like 40 points, 40, 10 and 10. I think every Lakers fan would have been like, holy fucking shit, we were just witnessing like excellence. I would have loved it. I loved it in the meantime. I was hating it, but I was loving it. It's just nice. The Trae versus New York, the little that is what basketball is about. That is bringing basketball back to its greatness. I'm not gonna
say what I think about Trae.
No, don't. It's a PC podcast. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's you could agree. It's awesome. It's happening to you, which sucks. But that him dribbling, when he started dribbling, I said, "Oh no, oh." My mom was watching the game next to me. I go, "Oh no, oh no." And she's like, "What?" I was like,
right.
I was like, well, Dave, I think I talked to you about this. You don't put a cold player into the final possession. Why are you doing that? Frank hadn't played in 20 minutes, probably an hour and a half in real life.
The Hawks match up horrendously against the Knicks because our best like guard defender is Frank by a mile, but he is horrendous on offense, and we don't have the luxury of Julius. Like say if Julius and RJ are having great games, like 25 from Julius, 18 from RJ.
Yeah.
And then you can have Frank come in and guard Trae because you don't need his offense, but we need Derrick Rose offense so bad that he needs to play every single minute that Trae's on there just to match the scoring. And D Rose he might be my Lord and Savior right now on offense, but he is horrendous on defense. And it's just D Rose.
I just think it's like a bit overrated at that point. Like, you just got to go with the feel. You take the shot. You take the shot. You know what I mean? I went through clock management. I think clock management was horrible in the last minute of that game for the Knicks. I think that's why you guys lost. You give Trae way too much time.
Can I say one last point?
No.
Series.
Well, I'm muting you.
So, what I was gonna say is I think this series is really similar to the Nuggets Blazer series in that it's two different philosophies like fighting each other.
Yeah.
And it's just like butting heads. I don't think it's gonna work. Like it almost feels like once you have two completely different philosophies of trying to play an offense and defense really against each other, like it feels like modern offense seems to win in the end, right? Like I don't know if it's always true, but it really feels in this series like the Hawks are spreading the floor where the Knicks would love to shrink the floor always, like offense and defense, they want to shrink it. And they're not great at spreading the floor out on defense. Like with Gallo at the 4, Julius should be good being that stretch 4 who can hit threes, hit that mid range, but for whatever reason, I feel like this series he's really slow guarding even Gallo, who now like I wanted Gallo in the offseason. I thought getting Crowder was a huge downgrade to Gallo, but
No.
my God, Gallo looks like an old ass man out there. I didn't think he was gonna age this. Like he went from Thunder, like scrappy Euro, like really great mid range. He was just smarter and better than everybody else on the court. Like who was guarding him. Like he was what 17, 18 points a game, Gallo to I don't know, this old ass man
Every
really
time he
quick.
shoots, I am so happy. Like, I am so happy if he's shooting. And if it's not Trae or fucking Bogdanovich,
Dude,
but
it's pretty
I
if
good.
feel
it's
like
not them two,
but I guess what I'm saying is like they don't have an answer for the stretch 4. And like they don't have an answer for John Collins. They don't really have an answer for Gallinari. And they're holding everything on Capella. And for whatever reason, the Knicks can't figure out how to beat Capella. And I really think that's the only reason they're losing this series.
I mean,
Is
I
like
just want RJ
I think
to
Trae could
just
go off. I think the
dive.
rest of the team go off. The problem is the Knicks they can't score enough points against Capella.
well,
And I
it's
really
not even
don't know why.
scoring against Capella. It's getting Capella out of the game. They're not fouling
Even
him.
that they can't figure out.
Julius is
Yeah,
taking 18 to 25 footers. That's all he's doing. He's not going in like bully ball, go up, get the
Sleeping.
foul. And I mean,
Go to bed
like,
now? Go to bed?
oh, Dave's just not muted. You know what I'm saying? He's just over here talking smack. Yeah, it's just you gotta foul him. You gotta foul out Capella.
Yeah, I just want RJ just to drive to the basket. RJ and Julius just drive to the basket. Capella's not gonna get clean blocks and everything else on you every single time. Just keep going at him, and hopefully he fouls out, and then you have to worry about John Collins, who is not that good of a defender.
He's also not having a great series. I mean, it's
Who,
nothing to write
Collins?
home about. Yeah, Collins is not.
Yeah, yeah.
I
He
do
had
like
good. This
before
game
we
he was good.
before we're gonna switch over because it's getting long.
Yep.
Collins, Randall, the little bickering, the little feuding with each other is amazing. I like this series. I knew I was gonna love this series going into it, but they hate it. They do not like each other. They're talking shit the entire game, and it's fan freaking tastic.
He had his best game tonight too.
Wait. Just before we go,
The next
who do you
series,
guys think? Who do you think? Yeah, for the next series, who do you guys think is gonna win, and what game? Like,
This
if you had to
series?
put money on it,
no, the Hawks.
the
Hawks next.
Hawks next.
It's
Dude,
very hard to say that the Knicks will win 3 in a row.
yeah,
I'm gonna say they're gonna win the
5-2,
next game.
5-2,
5-2.
4-2, 4-2. Sorry.
Let's say, wow, we're just making up
Wow.
math now.
Eight game series. All
I meant
right.
I meant 4-2. I meant 4-2.
I think that's also gonna be the case.
I'm sad
still
about it.
holding out hope.
I think it's very possible they push to 7, but I think it's still hard to win 3 in a row. So like, if it goes to 7, I think Hawks win.
We need what we need to happen is we need just good game in the next game. The Knicks just like win by a little bit. Then game 6, we just need the super cold. This is why modern offense isn't the key, because
Right.
Trae and Herder and Bogdanovich go combine 3 for 20 from 3.
So that's exactly why that was exactly my argument is I can't see in the next 3 games there's not one of those games where Trae goes nuclear, right?
Like opposite
Trae doesn't go nuclear.
Well, that's what I mean. Like if you held him cold for the next 2 games, that third game he's gonna go off, right? Yeah. So like one of those 3 games he's gonna drop 40, and that's gonna be a win.
Yeah. All
right. Last game, right?
Last series. Clippers Mavs. Mavs go up.
It's a crap show.
2-0. It looks like holy shit, Clippers are gonna implode. What the fuck happened to the Clippers? Oh my god, Kawhi's gone. He's going to New York. He's going to Miami. He's going to South Beach. All these places. He's just gonna retire in South Beach. He's quit. Clippers come out. The last game, down 8-0, down 15, like 15-2. It was like a slaughter. Luka goes out of the game. All of a sudden, I think it's a 17-point lead gets crushed to 2. They lose the game because Kawhi is shooting, I think, something like 80%. Like there's
really good at basketball.
No, there's no fucking defense on the Mavs side at all.
Kawhi's still really good at basketball.
He's good at offense. He's not good at defense anymore.
5 steals in 1 game, but all right.
But it's not like him on ball defense steals. It's like the pass is bad and he's taking the ball. And I don't love it. Playing fantastic. The Clippers are up 16 at the half. It's feeling it was a flip. All of a sudden, somehow the Mavs have blown it. Luka now has some sort of nerve Chris Paul injury where he felt like the pinch in the back of his neck all the way down to his left arm. Now he has some tape on him. Are the Mavs really gonna fucking blow this?
Figured it out. Oh, the Mavs? Yes, they're gonna blow this.
Yeah, the Mavs
because the Clippers have figured this out. They figured it out by not playing a center, and apparently Porzingis is literally that bad. Like he's fallen apart to the point of you can't play him right now, and it's insane. I'm looking at this game right now. Like they figured it out in the second quarter. Actually, no. You know what they figured out? They figured it out 3/4 way through the first quarter of last game when I saw the Mavs were up like 16, 17 points, blew that lead. And now they've completely figured out the formula against this Mavs team of it doesn't matter if you have a center. Like Porzingis can't guard anyone. Like he can't guard someone.
They need to drop him
in the mid range. He can't guard someone in the paint. He's got no they don't have anyone. This is why I said the other day, like the Mavs need to have a desperation play this offseason and get rid of Porzingis.
This is good. This was actually good.
I'm serious. They need to get rid of Porzingis because this isn't working. Like you either need to figure out like a spongy 5 that you're confident, like you need to figure out a week 5 rotation where you're just ready, like, all right, they're competent.
Yeah.
But I can swap out 2-3 guys to just get hard fouls, kind of defend in the paint, and like just die for rebounds.
JaVale McGee, Noel, players like that.
Like so you need like you either get a guy that's an elite top 7 big, right?
Yep.
Or you have to do the opposite strategy. You can't settle with like a top 15 dude, like a 9 to 15 range center isn't going to cut it. Like you need a guy that can you need a rotation of cheap dudes that just beat the crap out of Embiid. Like if you had 3 Dwight Howards just to be like, all right, you're going to give me 4 hard fouls a game against against Joel Embiid. That's what I want. Or you go the opposite way and you just get some like stretch 5s that will hack every single time. That's what you need to do because right now the Mavs are just Doncic and Tim Hardaway if he goes off. But like tonight he's cold. Last night he was cold, or the last game he was cold. So like, what are you going to do now? You're bringing Josh Richardson off the bench, who's supposed to be the answer, even though Curry was definitely the better.
He's a better
player.
Better player.
I was so wrong about that.
Same.
You know what? I've been wrong about a lot. I was wrong about a lot of things.
I
But
will.
that one I was right about.
I will take this back to what Lucas said about the last series. It's modern basketball. It's failing. Their shots are failing. So what is happening right now is they're losing this game because Finney Smith's 1 for 7, Hardaway's 1 for 6. Like Trae Burke's, I guess 0 for 2. But if Finney Smith and Hardaway are shooting 50%, it's a 3-point game, 5-point game.
I also think they have a wrong. I think Kleber is honestly a bad organizational decision.
I don't think so. I don't. I actually disagree with you on that. 100%.
He's their stretch 4.
Yeah, and he should be, but he's playing defense right now. And freaking Kawhi, that's the bad.
No, like so now in the modern NBA, you have small forwards.
I'm watching him play defense
that need to play the stretch 4. So I'm saying Kleber doesn't fit in the NBA right now. Where like Kleber right now has to play Kawhi, he's doing a terrible job. Kleber has taken 0 shots. It's halftime. He has 0 shots. He's the stretch 4.
Yes, because he's defending Kawhi, which is dumb. Yes, but he's not a bad player.
So it's just this series. Anything productive all game. So Kawhi is 8 for 10. So he's not playing good defense. He's not shooting threes in the corner. Like his role is as the stretch 4. What is he doing? He's not doing anything. He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit because he's not fast enough. He can't guard.
Could you not argue that Porzingis should be playing them?
I literally said this isn't working. Porzingis needs to be traded as well. They don't.
But
they don't have a traditional 4, or they don't have a modern. Or they don't have a. You were saying
to trade the stretch 4 who shoots 41% from 3. He doesn't fit in the NBA. Yes, he hasn't taken a shot, but also Luka has taken what? I want to say 15 shots.
Luka's doing fine.
Porzingis has taken 7. All the Finney Smith and Hardaway have taken 13 shots, and they've made 2 of them. Maybe they should pass the ball to Kleber. Maybe that's the problem.
They should. Why is it? Why?
Then so I don't think push the blame on a Kleber because he hasn't taken a fucking shot. He hasn't got the ball. Take the shot.
Maybe that's the situation. I don't we've been doing this podcast. I haven't watched the game. I'm saying like
grow up and get multiple monitors.
But you know his body, like you've seen him. He's more like traditional 4. He's not he's not a small. So like in the NBA right now, you transition a 3 into a power forward. That's how the NBA's work. Crowder is a traditional 3 that's turned into a 4. Rudy Gay has turned into a 4. We have 3 like small forwards that are now power forwards.
He's saying Rudy Gay is a good player, but okay.
No, I'm saying that's how the evolution has gone. You've gone from 3s into 4s.
Okay.
4s have turned into 5s.
Yeah.
And right now, like Kleber is a 4.
Who
has to be a stretch 4.
He's like you put Kleber in the.
He's going the wrong direction. See what I mean? Like. This happens with a handful of other players too. Like like Tobias Harris is a 3 that is a stretch 4, right? But Kleber is a 4 that you're turning him into a stretch 4 when like 5-6 years ago he would be a traditional 4. Like it'd be like turning Zebo into a stretch 4 when he's not a stretch 4.
Right? I just think
Zebo
the fact that
back 6 feet.
The fact is we're at half. I think the problem is we're at halftime and he hasn't taken a shot. In the last 2 games,
he's a huge problem.
In the last 2 games, he scored 14 and 13, shooting 56% and 83%.
Well, here's like they need a better stretch 4 is what I'm saying. They need a better 4. They need a better 5.
He hit 4 for 7 from 3. What the fuck more do you need from this guy?
You need a better dude. You need someone better.
Well, then
Luka.
No, then fine. It's not Kleber's fault. It's fucking Porzingis who gets paid $30 million.
I'm saying Kleber doesn't work on this team.
I'm disagreeing with you.
A lot of teams.
No, I'm disagreeing with you because $30 million is in Porzingis. Porzingis is the problem. Who's having a decent game. He's also, what is he right now? He's having 12 points, 2 rebounds, but he's negative 13. He's 12 points. He's negative 13. Kleber hasn't scored a point. He's negative 12.
Kleber's gonna be at $8 million a year.
I think the bigger problem is the fact that they don't really have a small forward.
That's true.
What they have is they have two guys as the stretch four and then a stretch five.
I think Lucas hit on the head with the Seth Curry Richardson trade is backfiring hard.
Yeah, because think like if you think about it, like if they had Seth, they could have Luka, Seth, Tim Hardaway, and then either you pick Kleber or Finney Smith and Porzingis. But instead, you're having to have Finney Smith, Kleber, and Porzingis, which are two of those players are the same, or should be playing the same like thing. Like you should only have two of those players out on the court instead they have all three.
I will go a step further, and it kills me to say this. It doesn't kill me because I think he's a good player. Why is this fucking figured the series out? He just dropped it last game, 36 points, 76% from the field goal, 60% from three. Game before that, they lost 41, 67, 57, 90. Game before that, they lost 26, 40, 60. Like that one game, but right now, what is he doing? He's 17 points, 80% from the field. Every time this man touches the ball, he scores. It doesn't matter who's on him. He's scoring.
What this series just shows more is just how much of a difference there is between him and Paul George. Yeah. Like,
I think it's
I know that Paul George right now is shooting 50%, but I don't like. It doesn't matter what he's shooting. He does not look good.
There's no leader. There's no one to corral the Batums, the Morrises, the Jacksons. There's no one to rally them. There isn't a figurehead.
Paul George is trying, like, it should be Kawhi, but Kawhi is not like that. And then Paul George is trying to be that guy, and nobody respects Paul George because
I don't think he's trying to be that guy. I don't think I've seen anything of him trying.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the natural order of, like, the second best player then. You know what I mean? Like, I do, the more and more from, like, the beginning of this podcast, when you were like, Kawhi can't be a leader and stuff, I agree with that now.
I don't know if it's he can't be. He's just not. He's not a leader.
He's just not. He's just, I'm going to play good basketball. I don't want to deal with other stuff, is what it seems like.
I think a lot of the Mavericks is first two games was the perfect Mavericks. I think it was last year too. We saw this offense that was unstoppable, and it's being stopped. They're just missing, and every time they miss, it's like, oh well, why are they doing this? It's like, well, this is all they do. It's like how the Bucks were in the playoffs last year. When the system didn't work, they're screwed. And now there's a Luka injury. And I mean, Lucas and I talked about this. What do you trade Porzingis for?
I had an idea that I don't love after saying it, but it was an idea.
Hey, yeah, bring this up.
So finally breaking like the redundancy of the Blazers. If you moved everybody up a spot and put Porzingis at the 4, you swap Porzingis for McCollum because their salaries match up perfectly. And so McCollum goes and plays second fiddle to Doncic. They fill out the rest of the team with that, whatever they have to fill. Then the Blazers are Lillard, Powell, Covington, Porzingis, and Nurkic. I kind of love that 5 a little bit. Like, I kind of love it. And then the Mavs finally have a 2 they should be confident in. Like, their wing trio is Hardaway, McCollum, and Doncic. So now Doncic doesn't have to be the all-time leader in like ball time held.
Yeah.
Like he's held the ball. Yeah, possession time. Like somehow in the history of basketball, he's held the basketball longer on average in every single game, more than Allen Iverson or Michael Jordan or anyone else in the world. Somehow this has just happened where Doncic holds the ball more than anyone in history. Give the ball to someone else. Faster pace, pass the ball. He's holding the ball more than anyone else. Pass the ball.
Okay, Dave, would you, if you're the Blazers, trade CJ McCollum for Kristaps Porzingis?
You have to do something. Porzingis might not be the answer, but you have to do something with McCollum. It doesn't work.
Well, okay, we're talking about this trade. Would you do it?
No.
Do something.
Well,
I think they could get better. I think they could get something better for CJ.
Thank you.
He's a 30-year-old guard making $31 million a
year. Here is my equivalent trade for what Lucas is trying to do. Porzingis for Kevin Love.
No.
That's
Kevin Love. You've been complaining about Kevin Love
for
like 2 years being washed.
I think it's shit.
Why is Porzingis better than Kevin Love? Why is
Porzingis
is it
just
they're not.
Is it just money?
It's
just so you get out of the contract earlier?
It's something different. It's something different. That's it. I wouldn't do the trade
because it's different.
I wouldn't do the trade. I'm not saying
bad.
I'm saying something more realistic. More realistic is that is the market for Porzingis is Kevin Love, because the market before was what, Dennis Smith Jr. and a first.
Two firsts.
For 2 protected firsts.
2 firsts. I don't care. It's still 2 firsts.
2 protected firsts for Porzingis. Dennis Smith Jr., who then got traded for Derrick Rose, which looks like a fleece. I think that you guys also had to send a second for Derrick Rose.
But I mean, see, now I'm the opposite. Now I think that Porzingis is worth more than Kevin Love.
Well, I mean, barely. But you couldn't get someone like CJ McCollum for Porzingis straight up.
No, but I also don't think, though, that getting Kevin Love makes literally any sense.
I'm not saying to do it. I'm just saying that's his trade value. It's a Westbrook John Wall situation where one player is going to come out on top. But could you not see Kevin Love playing better just because he's in a different situation?
I mean, maybe, but I just don't know about Kevin Love. I mean, the man seems like he just doesn't play basketball anymore.
We said that about Blake Griffin. LaMarcus,
Blake Griffin went and did some dunks, and then if you look at like how he's played the series, it's like 4 points, 6 points.
But he's still a positive attribute to the team. Like, he's not like a negative 500.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, I feel like if that's the case, then I'd rather trade Porzingis for like 7, 8 like players, like to get more bench players then.
It's not going to move the needle. That's not going to move the needle.
Yeah, but I'd rather do that though. Then you have different money. Like then you have more money than to do other things. Then and then also having Porzingis gone moves up the roster and stuff of how I was saying, like Finney Smith and that. Say if they get a small forward who's like borderline bench, borderline starter, it just shifts the roster around.
I think the trade's ass. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think anyone on this roster, even the last 2 years, I haven't been impressed with this roster. That's why I've never thought it was gonna be last year I was not impressed at all. They did way better than I thought they were gonna do. Well, and this year I thought they were worse.
Is supposed to be the number 2. I mean, if they got what Porzingis was those couple of years with New York when he was really good, I mean, then that would be something different. But that's not what they're getting.
I'm gonna clap back on that before we end the podcast. It wasn't years; it was months. He was good for a couple months. He was good for 45 days, and then he tanked instantly off once people figured out how to play him.
45 days.
But exactly, that's the thing is they learned, and it was a great trade by the Mavs. You take that trade, the fucking Suns were going to do it for the 4th pick if it wasn't for Phil, which you guys dodged a bullet, Dave, getting Josh Jackson.
Right.
He's just what he is. And I think you take this. How many years does Porzingis have left?
2?
Yeah, I don't know.
I got it. Right here. You have. Never mind. You're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. You have this year. You have next year for 31. The year after is for 33, and then a player option for 36. Well, the Mavs are fucked.
I'm just gonna guess he's going to take that 36.
The Mavs are fucked. Luka is gonna leave. He's gonna go to Minnesota Timberwolves to play with Karl Anthony Towns. That's where we're gonna end the podcast because I think that was a good segue, and everyone's gonna be like, "These kids are idiots."
No. One person's an idiot.
Yeah, it's you for thinking the Knicks are going to beat the Hawks. And then the two of us are idiots for thinking the Clippers were going to lose. Well, yeah, that's it. That's all I can do anymore. Hour and 50. Thank you for joining us here at the NBA Nightcap. Nick here. Lucas. Dave. Lucas got quiet for the last 10 minutes. He just dropped the Porzingis bomb and tried to sneak off into the sunsets. Dave's Knicks are going to be out of the playoffs in 2 games, and I'm really upset about it. My Lakers...
The Lakers are going to be out in 2 games as well, and I'm very happy about it.
The Lakers might be out in 2 games, or hopefully 3. I want to go to 7 games, and after that, I'm going to be a Suns fan for 2 months. It'll be fine. I'm rooting for my friend. Make sure you guys are following us on Nightcap NBA Twitter, NBA Nightcap on Instagram. I have my new job. I'm back and fully functioning, figuring out how my life's going to go on. So make sure you're following that stuff. We're going to keep that up. It's NBA playoffs, baby. The Clippers are up 24 points, and that's going to be the end of our night because it's going 2-2 into LA with all their diehard fans in Clipper Stadium. Thank you so much. Have a great night.